Okay. Well, smelling something. Something is new and exciting. How many of you have noticed lots and lots of rabbits outside? How did we get so many rabbits? Was this always a rabbit town?
I don't know.
I guess I don't really understand why we have so many rabbits. Huh. Yeah. Well, let's see here. Let me go over to the gallery view and get everybody involved. And then I'm thinking about investigating a few things. I've had a numerous bits of feedback about class being too hard, so I want to start back and get everything sort of all set and working. Those of you who were here for the first couple of weeks, this may be a little bit of review, but I'd like to really look into how to hold a bow and where to place it, here versus there, and how to think about which direction it should be going. And so this might be kind of what are we into week 10 now? 10? Have you been coming here 10 weeks? I think so. Yeah, you don't even know. Anyway, so the way that I think about holding a bow is that I kind of want to use as much hair as possible on this. So I try and get my hand as far down as possible. Now, historically, like your Baroque players will play here, okay, and with a Baroque bow that goes there. I don't have any Baroque bows because I don't play in that style of music very often. But before about 1800, that's what everybody had, and so the balance of the bow is different, and so they would play like this. Now this isn't a bad idea. Have you ever tried it? Like you just sort of, really choke up on the bow a little bit. I just sort of hang all my fingers over, and my thumb is on the stick like this. And what you find is kind of a soft sound. It's a very it's a little bit more facile, and it gives kind of a different sound. It's not as big a sound as you might have. Okay? And sometimes when I'm feeling like really goofing off, I will turn it completely this way, and you can go ahead and try it this way, and you won't hurt anything. It's not a problem. But notice how heavy it is over here at this end. Yeah, go ahead and try. You won't break anything. It just kind of opens your brain up to you might hold it. This is great. Oh, I'm gonna turn on the backing sound. This is cool. So the next part of this is that the easiest way to hold a bow is actually with your fist, like this. And we all ought to try that. And I've seen excellent professional cellists do this and have this bow hold when the music is just not so difficult, but super repetitive, and you have to play a lot. So there is nothing wrong with the old fist. Yeah. In fact, I kind of think it's a great way to start. Yeah, everybody's like, "Hey, yeah, I think I could probably do that." I'm just gonna kind of do a fist. You can play all the strings. There we go. People doing scales, everything. Yeah, this is good. Okay, this is cool. So, what this doesn't allow is kind of a quick spiccato bow. And I would imagine that people generally had a fist bow hold until they needed to do this. Because as soon as you do that, you have to use your whole arm for everything. It's not so bad for on the string, but if you want to bounce that thing, it's hard. Mm-hmm. So it's really good if if you need to play like lots of long notes because it uses larger muscles and you don't get so quite as tired. Your thumb doesn't get tired. That's the key, right? Okay, so somebody's doing it. Oh yeah, she's got the fist right on. That's great. Okay, so the next step in this is they said, well, how do we get this thing to be dainty? You know, um, uh, early players also came in from below. Actually, you should all try this kind of a German bow hold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand right here at the bottom side of this, and then I'm going to put my finger right through the middle between the hair and the stick, and then I'm going to put this finger on top. So it's kind of like chopsticks, Well, no, it's not at all like chopsticks, but these two fingers hold there, and then these fingers can be kind of loose. They were on older bows that were played underhand. You could actually pull the hair tighter with these fingers, so you could get a different kind of sound. Like you could loosen it and play more strings, and tighten it and play fewer strings. So here's this other beta bow hold. And now we're starting to be able to use our wrist. And there's a technique that bass players use still, German hold bass players use to get a good spiccato here. I don't really have that. I haven't worked on that myself. But essentially, you're kind of drawing out the sound like this. What do you think? Does it feel funny? Does it feel cool? Is everybody trying it? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. You may find the best way to do it, to hold a bow, that's even better than anybody else has ever thought of in this whole world. You people on this class, and it may allow you to play all the things, and then you'll be the best player, and everybody will look at you and say, "Hey, how are they holding their bow? Oh, I want to do that like that, right?" So think of it along those lines. Okay, so I'm just gonna do underhand for a little bit, and then midway through the class we'll figure out why we went to go to a French bow hold. Let's everybody get tuned. Don't be bashful. You can do a German hold. You can even do a fist hold if you want. Anybody out of tune? Anybody have some weird notes that they'd like to work on? Having a hard time tuning? Anything like that? Raise your hand if you got any. If some of your notes sound a little bit weird. Okay, yeah, go for it, Lucy. Turn on your mic and then we'll get you tuned.
My D string sounds a little weird.
Let's hear it. That sounds good to me. Go like a quarter twist a little higher. Yeah, seems like it. Good. Yeah, that does sound better. Any other strings, Lucy? What do you know? Nothing?
No.
Okay, great. Ivan, what you got?
I think my A string is a little bit out.
Okay, let's hear it. Okay, I'd bring that down. Are all of your other strings more or less in tune? Okay, great. So sometimes when an A is really high, it means that some other note has dropped out because suddenly more pressure is used by the A string to hold it up. So when I hear A sharp like that, then I thought, oh well, maybe your C's out. But here is your A. Let's play that and bring it down just slightly. Yeah, Yeah, just a little bit. You might be able to get by with just pulling on the string, like pulling it like a bow and arrow a little bit. There you go. Maybe a little bit more. Twist it down just a little bit more, and we'll get it perfectly in tune. Yeah, that should be pretty good. Okay, and then just make sure that they're playing with the other ones. Okay, great. So I'm going to go back to my German bow hold because I forgot. All right, so next is let's oh, the scale that I wanted to do was nothing hard. We're going to get back to this one over here. Nothing tricky, but it is kind of maybe just a little bit tricky because of the fingerings. Let me go back over here and call up. Where is, oh yeah, here it is. Too many windows. All right, I'm gonna share screen, and we're gonna hit up some hit up the scale C major. Now I've had a few students come in, and they have recently some new students, and it's often forgotten that we don't have the same fingerings all the way across the cello in order to play all the same notes. The fingers are essentially not in the same place because all the strings are in fifths straight across. So sometimes the notes are a sharp on one string and a natural on another string. For instance, let's look at third finger. Okay, over here, since I'm sharing the screen, we have this E right here. Okay, and then we've got this B right here, and these are all natural notes. Okay, but if we wanted to play a third finger over here, we would have to play F sharp. This is an F natural, and this is a 2. And then over here, this is going to be a 2 as well. Okay, now, and that's largely because if you keep adding strings across, if you keep adding strings lower and higher and higher and lower, let's say we had like 8 strings instead of, you know, we had 2 extra ones over here, we would go from A to E to B, and then maybe if we added another one, another fifth higher, then the string would be F sharp. Okay, now if we go to C, if we add 2 strings over here, we've got a C, right? And then we've got an F, which it would be a lower, a fifth lower. Sometimes you find those on 5-string cellos. And then you would have a B flat, because that's 1/5 down from 1/5 down from an F. Okay, so suddenly you're getting into strings that are either flats or sharps, depending on, you know, because you wanted to keep all of the strings to a fifth. Now guitar gets around that a little bit. They're in fourths. I'll bring up my guitar. Da, 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 da. Okay, so the guitar concept is kind of like, it's like an upright bass for the lowest 2 strings. But then if they kept going by fourths, this would be this is E, A, D, and then G. These are by fourths going up. And then if you went another fourth, that would be a C. And then this would be an F. Now, if you had an F and on the top, and then an E on the bottom, then it wouldn't sound very nice. And so what happened was the guitar maker said, "Oh, that just sounds awful." So what we're going to do is we're going to put a third through here, and we're going to put a third in the middle. That's what viola da gamba does, and is that they will have a series of fourths, and then they will have a third in there. And let me just show you that video of the viola da gamba. Now we in the cello business, we like to have our strings in fifths, and bass players, strangely enough, when they go into more strings, like a bass guitarist, they tend to like to have where's my video? queued it up. I just have to find it. Channel. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen one more time, and we're going to see a viola da gamba, which in this case has 7 strings, and make sure that we've got this. Okay, great. Okay, and it's just got a whole bunch more. So here we have introducing the doom, and this one, does he have 8 or 7? We'll see in just a second. Oh, skip. All right, here we go. And why is it going so fast? I don't understand. Better go back. Urch. Okay, musical cousins. Here we go. Ah, this makes sense. Huh. How did the video get so quick? Oh well. Here's the cello. And I better... Huh. This is so strange. I've never seen anything like this before. Do you know what's going on?
Oh, well, you could go to the settings of the video and slow it down.
How do we get videos to go all the way down, all the way?
It's the thing that's like a little gear.
Gear, yeah.
Help me out on this one, young kids.
When you push on the video
Okay.
and see that little grayish bar on the bottom.
Oh, grayish bar on the
There's
bottom.
a little gear on the right side.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it. Autoplay, off, quality, playback speed, normal. Huh?
And then push on that.
Okay.
And then you can lower the speed and increase it.
Huh. That is so funny. But what if it says that I'm at normal? What am I to think of?
No, just try lowering it.
Okay, I'll try lowering it. That is so funny. Okay, we're going to try this. Ready? Set. Huh. Yes, here we go. Yeah, it's super fast. Okay. Well, we're going to go out here and we're going to pause. And, oh well. Boy, that educational aspect has been destroyed.
You can always try making it like slower than it's supposed to be. If that's normal, then make it way slower.
Okay, we'll go super slow. This is pretty funny. All right, so ready, 0.25. All right, so here we go. Ready, and yeah, this is good. All right, here we go. Huh. That is so funny. I have been owned.
Try closing out of the window.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so let me enough of that educational part. Let's go. Let's get out of here. That's pretty funny. I've never seen anything like that before, and it wouldn't even change when I set it. Maybe it's yeah. I'm rather curious as to why the YouTube video is going so fast. Oh well. So anyway, they will have a series of fourths and then a third in the middle, in order so that you can play this. But the fingerings are different then too, because sometimes you only use 2 fingers instead of like all 4, and that was that's the part of it. Okay, so let's go over here to the scale and let's work on second finger versus third finger and really make sure. For some of you this will be review, but for some of you this will be like, oh wow, mind is blown. Okay, here we go. There's this. All right. Okay, we are taking a look at this scale over here, and we're going to play these notes. It's just a C major scale. It's in 2 octaves, and it's all in first position. I just want to make sure that everybody's just rocking this. If you want, you can practice your vibrato on these long notes. Okay, so here is the low C. Oh, German. Ready? And then D. And then E, third finger. Now that's a whole step, major second. Now we're going to go to F, and this is a half step, minor second. And this G is an open, and it's a whole step. A is the first finger, and it's a whole step. B is a third finger, and it's a whole step. C is a fourth finger, and it's a half step. Okay? So we've got this whole, and then there's a half step, minor second, and then it's major, 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 and then a minor. Okay? Now let's go to open D. Okay, and then we go to E, whole step. F, half step. G, whole step, fourth finger. A, open. B, first finger. C, second finger. Okay, and we're gonna come back down. Second, first, open, fourth finger, second finger F, first finger E, D, open, fourth finger C, third finger B, first finger A, open G, fourth finger F, third finger E, first finger D, and open C. Okay. All right. So now, if I want to play all the way out here, I can do it with my German bow hold. But it's going to take a lot of wrist motion. I'm twisting down. Okay, go ahead and try that with your awesome German bow hold that you've developed today. Have any of you seen a German bow on a bass? The frog is like really big, and it's much more of a triangle. The frog goes down quite a bit longer, and so you can actually fit it with your hand. There are some orchestras where that is required, as a matter of fact. Some German orchestras always use a German bow hold, and they feel like they get a better sound out of it, and I think perhaps you do for certain kinds of music. Well, what we have in terms of a French bow hold is this position over the top, okay? And so what I'm doing here is that I'm going to just, let's start, before we start with the thumb, and I'm going to do that right now, where I take my thumb and I point it straight up, and then I put it into the corner of the frog right here at the inside of this. And I just sort of put my thumb in so it just sort of flexes around on this spot right here, okay? And I used to really enjoy putting the thumb on the stick, but every once in a while I'd play something really fast and my thumb would slip through. And then I'd see people like with their thumbs going flat in, and then it would get pinched in here. And I thought, oh, there's got to be a better way. Then I discovered that when my hand drops down, my nail is actually pointing straight down. It's perpendicular. It's not opposed, right? So what I decided to do was look into moving the thumb over here sideways. I'm going to put my cello down. Sideways in like this, okay? So that my thumb is kind of pointing out towards the tip of the bow. My thumbnail, that is, okay? And the knuckles of the thumb are then also sort of like pointing straight out across the bow, like this, okay? And then what happens is I look for the second finger to come down on the ferrule, touching over here, and then these fingers go like that, okay? All right? And then rest position, I always try to make sure that rest position is straight up and down, because as soon as I go over like this, it's going to slip out. You've all had that experience, like, oh, I'm too tired. Maybe your orchestra teacher is like, okay, we're going to start at measure 47. Here we go, ready. Oh, violins. And everybody's ready. And it's like, oh, violins. Be sure to play that down bow. And then hook that, and they're talking about something. And you're going slowly, slowly, slowly. So I always try and make my rest position straight up here, like about 1 o'clock, holding the bow. That way I can keep my fingers nice and loose. And you'll find, if you watch an orchestra, maybe on YouTube, hopefully not on that super speedy version like I've got, but you'll see when cellists are resting, they invariably have the bow here. They're not sitting here like this resting. They're just kind of like, oh, okay, got it. I'm not going to hit anybody with it. It's just pointing straight up. Okay. Now, the other way to look at the bow is to take your hand out like this and stick it straight out. Okay. Now you're holding the bow with your left hand. Okay. And here's the fun part. You actually poke your elbow like this. Oh, I'm wearing black, so it's kind of it's not entirely helpful. Anyway, stick it straight out again. Okay. And then take your elbow and just poke it in like that. Yep. There you go. It doesn't have to go too far, just enough. Okay. And that's your bow hold. Okay, so then I just sort of bring this over here and I say, I'm going to put this under my fingers. Okay, I want these to sort of sit underneath, in between these knuckles, okay, on this bone part. Okay, and then my thumb is the last part that actually comes in. And you get to decide, like, oh, will my thumb sit up here? So like a choose your own adventure. Will my thumb sit up here on the stick? Will it come down over here? Sometimes beginners will say like, put your thumb down here on the flat part. Okay, and that's kind of a fun way to do it too. Okay, so I've chosen this middle ground here, and there is my thumb over here. So I'm actually, let's try that out. So the arm goes straight out. Okay, then you poke it. Great. Bring your fingers in just so they're resting, so you can actually lift up your hand with your bow. Okay, great. And then I'm going to bring in my thumb, in my case on the frog. And then I flip it up here to 1 o'clock, and here we go. All right, so those of you who are a little bit more advanced, what I'd like to do is do that same 2-octave scale, but on one string. Okay, we'll do that today. Okay, so let me go back to sharing the screen, and we're going to go straight up the string, okay? And we'll do it by ear, but you got the idea on the notes, okay? And I am going to, this way you can see me play, okay? So we're going to play the C. And then we're going to play the 1, E, F. Now we're going to move. Ready? Here's a shift up to 4th position. G. B, A, second finger, 4th finger B, and then we're going to go 1st finger C. Now, this is also the octave, so you can press it down. And I take my thumb, and I like to, as soon as I get up here, I like to just rest my thumb over on the fingerboard. And the way that I know that it's rested is that I'll lift it up all the way, and then I'll just drop it, okay? Now, the fingering pattern, if you're on a 1st finger and you need to go an octave, is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if we're starting on a 1, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's play this. Here we go, ready? And then 2, 3, then 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2, and 3. Coming back down, 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 1st finger on the F. Now 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're going to go into 4th position, 4th finger, 2nd finger A, 1st finger B, G, and 4th finger F, 3rd finger E, 1st finger D, and open C. All right, so let's do that just one more time to sort of lock it down. So the fingerings are open 1, 3, 4, open 1, 2, open 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And the reason for that is that I'm lazy. I want to end up on the top note as a 3rd finger, as the highest finger I can possibly get at. And so I don't really want to end on a 2, and I don't really want to end on a 1. So I want to figure out some kind of trick in order to end up on a third finger on the top. Okay, let's try it one more time. Ready? And here's a C. A D, E3, F4, G1. Good. A2, B4, C1, D2, E3. Good. F1, G2, A1, B2, and C3. All right, I'm glad y'all are going for it. This is fun. Now back down. C2, 3, B2, A1, G2, F1, E3, D2, C1, B4, A2, G1, F4, and then E3, D1, and C, open. Okay, so it's C major throughout the entire week this week. That way we can play all the low strings and everything like that. And I'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, hit me up. It's great to see y'all. Take care.